Hello and welcome. I'm Katrina Potter. I'm going to dive in on essential oils, emotions, mindset. We're going to talk about all of it. Before we get started, I'll go ahead and introduce a little bit about me. As I said, I'm Katrina Potter. I formerly was a speech language pathologist specializing in the pediatric population. And one of the things that I discovered about myself is although I love communication and I love the language acquisition and all of that that goes along with being a speech language pathologist in that area, what I my true passion is understanding the communication of our body both emotionally and physically and weaving in a holistic approach to our health and wellness. And that transformed my career into becoming an integrative holistic life coach, into becoming an emotion code practitioner and an essential oil specialist. So in today's workshop, I'm going to weave all of those teachings, all of the things that I have learned throughout those different shifts and understanding health. Now, what I'm going to share is based off of my beliefs and understanding of how the body operates in this moment. And also, I give myself permission to change my beliefs. And so, who knows, a year from now, I might have shifted into another way of thinking or understanding this even further. But based on the information that I have so far, I'm going to share with you how I perceive our mindset and our emotional wellness. So before we dive in, let's talk about our intentions. I'm going to go over energy and the way that I view energy and what that means in my mind. I'm going to talk about ways that we can support our body on a foundational level when it comes to emotions and well-being. I'm going to talk about how essential oils and holistic health can weave into that. And then also talk about simple ways that we can make shifts to support our emotions, support our mindset, whether we're struggling with anxiousness or a lot of stress, or if we're feeling down in the dumps, whatever the emotion is, we're going to talk about ways that we can support our body in that. So let's dive in. I'm going to first talk about energy and the way that I see it, because I use energy, the word energy a lot in my work as a coach and just in my discussions of essential oils in general. So let me share with you what I mean by energy. So when I think of energy, I think of the energetic experience that we have in our body. Every emotion that we have creates a different energetic experience in our body. If we're happy and elated, it's easy to kind of hop around and get moving. But if we're feeling depressed and exhausted and stressed and grieving, oftentimes we want to stay in bed. So that's a different energetic experience that we have in our body. Now, the way that I view the movement of energy is we can fall somewhere on an energetic staircase. And I think of when we're higher up on that energetic staircase, a lot of things happen where we're creating a life of ease. It's a stronger connection spiritually, whether that is God, Jesus, universe, whatever the word is for you. It connects us deeper. We can strengthen that connection. We also have a sense of ease in our body. Things are healing within our emotions. And there's just a lot of positivity and uplifting experiences that we have connected to that. Now, if we look at dis-ease or a lower state on the energetic staircase, there's a lot of contraction and kind of think of like white knuckle struggle associated to that lower energetic experience. And so this oftentimes, I'm going to spend some time breaking this down because this is where we're going to focus our efforts on raising our energetic experience. So in that state of dis-ease, oftentimes we're consuming a lot of processed foods, not giving our body those nutrients that it needs to thrive. Maybe no supplementation, or if we are taking supplements, sometimes it's low quality and they're not really doing what they need to do for the body. Sedentary lifestyle, maybe a lot of debt and exhaustion. Maybe our relationships are feeling toxic and full of drama. Maybe it is unhealed trauma from our childhood. Maybe it's low quality self-talk. Maybe it's that we have to react to everything. So our focus in a lot of where I feel my life's work is sharing tips and tools that can raise us on an energetic staircase so that we can create a life of our highest potential, a life where we spend more time in a state of ease rather than a state of dis-ease. Now, how do we do that? So this is my belief system, is that we our body operates kind of like a wheel, and we need to put focus into all of these areas in order to move the wheel forward and go up on a higher energetic staircase. Now, this is movement, this is sleep, this is stress, this is our relationship with toxicity, our relationship with food, if we're being proactive with our health, if we're informed on what our body is trying to tell us. So, all of these things, in my opinion, make up our ability to move that wheel forward up the energetic staircase. So what you'll see here is we can score ourselves in each of those areas. So if I'm a 1 on movement, but I'm a 10 at nutrition, you can see where that wheel's going to struggle to move forward, because we need to ideally have a wheel that's rounded so it can move forward easier. Even if we're giving a 2 to each of the categories, it's still a wheel, versus if we're doing 10 at one and 1 at another, it's kind of like having a flat tire. So we're going to dive into how emotions work so we can better understand this movement up the energetic staircase. Okay. So as I mentioned before, every emotional experience that we have, every emotion, and I can't remember the exact number, but we experience a lot of emotions throughout the course of a day, and sometimes multiple emotions at the same time. I've been having these conversations with my kids recently. We can feel excited and scared at the same time. So we're having a lot of these emotional experiences simultaneously in the body. Well, if we look at our different stages of development at different ages in our childhood, we were experiencing and understanding different things as our brain was beginning to develop. Well, in our timeline, we also have traumatic events or dramatic events, depending on how that went, that have shaped us. And our ability to process emotions was very much dependent upon our caregivers' ability to process those same emotions. For example, if we have a caregiver in our physical environment that is uncomfortable with anger, then we have a tendency to trap that emotion because we are unable to move through it and release it. We try to hold it in. Well, that's a compounded energy that gets stored in the body. If you look at what the research is showing, is that trapped emotions can be kind of like a fist or a knot of um, energy trapped in the body. And so the more that we have these little fist sizes of trapped energy, what do you think happens to the physical body? The cells struggle to operate in the way that is required to stay in that state of ease or that state of health. So in our development, if we weren't able to process all of the emotions, that becomes trapped. Why does this matter? Because we can actually pinpoint what we have trapped in our body and begin to release that so that the cells have the physical ability to operate in the way that they are intended to. Now, every person has a different makeup. Think of this as our emotional epigenetics. Epigenetics being like the generational precursor to our physical health, but we can also have that with emotional health. So if we have a lineage of trapped emotions, that can get passed down to us. And so everyone's emotional makeup is complex and it's different for every person. So when we're looking at that, let's look at this. This is emotion code. And I mentioned before, this is something that you can become certified in. Emotion code was created by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And the premise of it is using muscle testing to identify the different trapped emotions in the body. So if you're looking at row 1, you can see that the heart and small intestine are responsible for processing feelings of abandonment, betrayal, forlorn, lost, love unreceived, effort unreceived, heartache, insecurity, overjoy, vulnerability. So if we have any of these emotions trapped in our body, it's going to lead to a tendency to have that in the heart space or the small intestine, which means that would lead to a tendency of having health concerns in those areas. So it's really important for us to look at what we have trapped in our body so that we can support our body emotionally, which will then yield physical support as well. So again, if we're looking at this energetic staircase, it matters what we have going on emotionally. Whether we do a full deep dive into seeing if it's a trapped emotion or we provide our body with supports from an emotional level, it matters. We want to support our body in raising that energetic experience. We want to release stress or chronic anxiousness or whatever the case may be. We want to support our body in releasing that. We also want, if we look at the state of dis-ease versus ease, in the state of dis-ease, we will also want to dissipate some of these other things that we do have control over, the food that we take in or supplementation. Supplementation is a quick and easy thing that we can do that can drastically bump us up on that staircase. And you can look through that environment, cleaning up or that list, cleaning up your environment, shifting relationships. It can be a slow progression, or a fast one, depending on what aligns for you. But one of the things that I wanted to share that I believe can make a massive shift on that state of dis-ease in the body and raising our body up on that energetic staircase is implementing high quality supplementation. Now, in our family, I am a strong advocate for doTERRA's supplementation for a few reasons. One of the main ones being the quality. When we purchase something over the counter, there's not a lot of standards over the counter supplementation. And so we believe we're getting the nutrients that our body needs, but unfortunately, oftentimes those have been created synthetically in a lab, and so our body's not getting the ability to absorb those nutrients because synthetics aren't bioavailable as well as a whole food supplement. So quality is a big marker. And also, when we look at supplementation, what we often see is a single form of a supplement. So one version of vitamin B, let's say. But for our body, we need the rainbow of that vitamin B. So we need it to come from a natural source so that we can get the whole spectrum. So what I love about doTERRA's supplements, there's a lot of things, but one of the main things that I love about them is that whole spectrum, whole food supplementation. Our body knows what to do with the supplements that are in there. So this is a three-part thing, and I'm going to show you a study in just a second on what these do from a research standpoint on our emotional and physical body. But let me just explain what each of these are. So the Microplex VMZ, that's our whole food vitamin. That's our vitamin, that you would typically get from food. Unfortunately, we know that our food doesn't have the same nutrient content that it did 100 years ago. We're mass producing basically, so we don't have that. So that's our whole food supplement. Then there's omegas. Omegas are highly beneficial in regulating our hormones, supporting our skin, supporting cardiovascular, supporting our brain. There's a whole bunch that this contributes to. Now, again, typically our omegas that we get are not the best quality, and they can oxidize really quickly. And so we're not getting the full benefit. So huge thing on the XC Omega is that it also contains essential oils. These essential oils serve to keep the omegas from oxidizing, but also bring in additional factors, frankincense being one of them, that's highly beneficial for mood and also highly beneficial for cellular health. So we're getting that added benefit in there, as well, which is cool. And then alpha CRS is for cellular support. Again, super important when it comes to emotional and physical support in the body. So when we look at this 60-day clinical trial, I won't read them, but you can just kind of pop around. What you'll see is over a 2-month trial with everything else remain the same, normal diet, normal exercise, we can see there's a lot of physical markers that shifted with inflammation and triglycerides and cardiovascular biomarkers, but there was also a shift on mental clarity, energy, motivation, control, balance, happiness. There was this emotional shift as well as the physical. Now, why is that? Our body needs these key nutrients in order to operate at our highest potential. So this is where I firmly believe that adding in lifelong vitality to our daily routine is a super quick way that we can take charge of our health proactively and support our body both physically and emotionally. Another thing that we can add in that's super simple, but that really matters when we're looking at our mindset and our emotional well-being, are high quality probiotics. Now, a probiotic, our microbiome is often referred to, or our gut is often referred to as our second brain. There is a strong connection between the gut and the brain and emotional wellness. And so, if we're supporting our digestive system, we're supporting our emotional health. So, lifelong vitality paired with PB Restore, I believe, is a double punch or a double benefit to our emotional well-being. When we look at PB Restore, so traditionally a probiotic is a one capsule probiotic that oftentimes gets broke down largely in the stomach where with all of the acid. And so we get some of the benefits to the rest of our digestive system, but mostly we lose a lot of it to the stomach acid. So PB Restore is a dual capsule, meaning there's a capsule inside of a capsule. So some of it does go into that beginning stages of the digestive system, but then it doesn't fully break down in that stomach acid. And so we get it throughout the entire course of the digestive system. PB Restore also has the good bacteria that we need in our reproductive organs, in our skin, other areas of our body. So we're boosting that good bacteria that's helping us out, as well as PB Restore also has something called bacteriophages. And bacteriophages are kind of like little Pac-Man, and they go through and they eat the things that we don't want to have in our body or that not so good beneficial bacteria. So that's PB Restore. Terrazyme is another support to our digestive system. This is something that helps to break down, it's a digestive enzyme, helps to break down food so that our body can fully absorb the nutrients. So again, lifelong vitality, PB Restore, that can be a daily support. And also you can add in Terrazyme if you're wanting to really focus on the digestive system. So that would be like just an easy daily routine as far as getting to the foundation and helping support the body physically and emotionally at reaching its highest potential as far as a nutrient standpoint. Now, if we look at ways that we can support our body on an emotional level, looking at these trapped emotions. So the key concept behind integrative holistic life coaching, or how I've been trained, is to identify the source of the disease. We look at, okay, what is it that is bringing us into this lower energetic state? Where did it come from? Sometimes we don't know. That's okay, but we can oftentimes pinpoint where these lower energetic experiences are coming from. Sometimes it's through inner child healing, sometimes it's through relearning, sometimes it's just through self-discovery and asking the question, like, is this really a belief that I want to carry on, or is this just something that I've been taught and I took it with me? We also can use emotion code. I mentioned that's a tool that we can add in, and we can use muscle testing to identify and also release trapped emotions. Then we can, and this is what we're going to talk about, is we can tailor essential oils based on our needs. I'm going to talk about how that works from a scientific level. From a science standpoint, the use of essential oils. So essential oils are aromatic compounds that come from plants through different parts. We can have them from the roots, the stem, the leaves, the fruit, the flower. It just depends on the plant. Now, these volatile aromatic compounds can be diffused, they can be applied to our skin, or they can be used internally as long as they're high quality. And when they come into the body, they are kind of like the janitors to our cells. So they help support cleaning up whatever needs to be cleaned up. Now, when we use them aromatically, there are a lot of research studies on the benefits of use of essential oils aromatically. Two different reasons, actually, more than two, but two of the main reasons being our sense of smell speaks to the portion of our brain that regulates mood and emotional response. If you think about smelling a home cooked meal versus smelling a skunk, one puts your body into a state of comfort, one puts your body into a state of ease. This happens all the time with oils. We can choose different oils that our body is needing to help support that emotional response, but also to help support and retrain neural pathways into a different emotional response. If we think about how you typically feel, our body, I think addicted is a little too intense of a word, but our body can get addicted in some way, or trained, let's use that, to be responding in a stressed state. It's like, okay, this is how I'm going to go to stress. I'm going to go to stress. So when we start using essential oils and we're working with the limbic system, we can reroute. So, hey, how about instead of stress, I can come to that with a state of composure or a state of ease, whatever the oil is that you're implementing can help support that. The other thing that diffusing and aromatherapy is beneficial for, there's a research study that came out that found a 226% increase in cognitive performance through the use of essential oils while a person is sleeping. That's in a diffuser. So just having the oils going in the diffuser is supporting our cognitive performance, our mind, our emotional state throughout the day by 226%. So using oils is huge. There's also research studies that show Shinrin Yoku is a blend from doTERRA, and there's research studies that shows how that helps with cardiovascular responses to stress as well. So again, essential oils, another easy thing that we can do. A quick supplement here, a quick probiotic here, essential oils in the diffuser or applied on the body make a huge, huge, huge difference. It also works, you can see from a cellular level, essential oils are able to penetrate through the cell membrane in our body and help to clean up whatever we have going on. You can learn more about that when you jump into Oil Camp, which is another resource that we have diving into essential oils even further. But when we're looking at essential oils and using them for emotions, there's three different ways. Now, when I'm sharing the ways of using essential oils, it is an implied that you're looking at using a high quality essential oil. Unfortunately, not all essential oils are created equal. Companies can say 100% pure, 100% natural, 100% therapeutic grade, whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, only 10 to 20% of that essential oil bottle needs to be what it says it was. There was a research study that came out, a testing on a Costco essential oil, and it said right on the bottle 100% pure, 100% whatever, all of the things that we would hope to see on the bottle. And when it was tested, the bottle only contained 10%. So unfortunately, we don't always know what we want. This is where I come in with doTERRA's oils and why that is the brand that I trust and what I understand about the essential oil industry. That would be the only brand that I would feel comfortable using these for health purposes. So when we're looking at using doTERRA's essential oils, there's three different ways that we can use them. Aromatically, I mentioned in a diffuser, this is supporting cognitive performance, our emotional response. It also helps to open up the airway and clean up the air. So remember when we were looking at the energetic staircase, our physical environment also contributes to our ability to reach our highest potential. And so having light, refreshing air that is supporting our body as we're breathing it in. And it's also cleaning up any kind of yuck that we might have picked up while our kids were at school or we were at work or whatever the case may be. So that's aromatic. Another way that we can use oils is topically. This can be done right on the site. So if we're feeling, let's stay in the emotional realm, if we're feeling tightness in our stomach or some anxiousness, we can put the oils right on topically. Or maybe our stress has manifested itself into physical pain. Well, we can use oils directly on that site to support that physical response. And then the third way that we can use the oils are internally. Now, with internal, again, safety and quality matters. So we want to make sure that we're using high quality essential oils like doTERRA's. So when you're taking an oil internally, you can do it a few different ways. You can put it right in a veggie capsule that bypasses the taste buds, or you can put it in some water. Now, what are the benefits of taking oils internally? When we are using oils internally, they're helping to cleanse out the junk that we are exposed to. So remember, we were talking about moving that wheel forward and how we need to look at our toxic load. Adding oils like citrus oils into our internal consumption on a daily basis helps to support pulling out those toxins, reducing our toxic load, which gives our body the ability to perform physically and emotionally at a higher energetic state. Okay, so simple habit here. Let me just talk through what this looks like in a morning routine. So for me in my morning routine, I have my citrus oils right next to the kitchen sink. I go into the kitchen, I grab a glass of water, put a couple of drops of a citrus oil in, take my Lifelong Vitality, my PB Restore. I also take MetaPower Advantage right at that time. We're not talking about that today, but that's another thing that I take right then. Take those, drink them down, and then add what I go over to my oil stand, grab whatever oil I'm wanting for that day, depending on how I'm feeling emotionally, put that on, boom, I'm all set. It takes seconds. It's just habit stacking what we already do. We probably already all go to the kitchen to have a glass of water or to have a cup of coffee in the morning. We're just adding into that habit a new habit that takes 2 seconds. So those are the three ways that we can use essential oils. Now, when we're looking to identify which essential oil do I want to take or do I want to use, like I mentioned, I go over to my oil stand and I pick it out. Here's how it kind of is broken down. So I'm going to give you the main categories. There's 6 main categories as far as essential oils, and I'll share with you my little tagline for each one so that you can have a deeper understanding of which oils might make sense for what you have going on emotionally. So when we look at a citrus oil, I just talked about the physical benefits of a citrus oil, but from an emotional perspective, I think of citruses as sunshine in a bottle. It's like a little bit of Florida in our diffuser or when we're applying it topically. One thing to keep in mind with citrus oils topically is citrus oils are blah. Citrus oils make our skin more photosensitive. So you just want to be cautious before going into the sun of how much citrus oil you're applying topically. But citrus oils help with boosting our mood. Spices are more like spice up your life. If you're feeling kind of disinterested or disassociated, spices are going to be supportive. Herbs and grasses, I think of this with when I'm experiencing a lot of emotions. Herbs and grasses are your clearing. So I think about being out in a field with tall grass and I'm clearing the grass so that I can see in front of me. This is herbs and grasses. Trees, think about trees as the strong roots that are grounding down. If you're feeling like you're scattered and all over the place, something in the tree family is going to help to ground down. Florals, if you think about putting something inside of a rose petal, how the petals kind of wrap around. Florals are your comforting, like a warm hug. And then mints are your breath of fresh air. Think about when you put in a piece of mint gum. That's a synthetic mint, so that's not actually doing anything to support the body, but it's going to give you the connection here. When you have a mint, that's going to help open up. It's your breath of fresh air emotionally. Now, here's some other emotional support oils that are beneficial. So lavender fits into that floral category. Lavender is great for calming. Serenity is a blend. So when we look at blends, lavender is a single plant. Serenity is multiple plants brought together to serve a specific purpose, or that's the purpose of a blend. They bring together all of these calming oils because everybody's body chemistry is different and everybody's emotional responses, remember we were talking about that, are different. So Serenity is a blend of calming oils. We jokingly say it's lavender on steroids that really helps with calming. This is great in the diffuser at bedtime to help with sleep, or you can combine it with Balance. I'm going to talk about that's one of my favorite combinations is Serenity and Balance and then Adaptive and Balance. But you can put them on before stressful situations. When I used to do home visits, I would use Serenity and Balance on my stomach before going into a home visit because it was a lot and I experienced a lot of stress in that time of my life. DigestZen is really beneficial. So DigestZen is designed for digestive support, but when it comes to emotions, DigestZen helps our body to digest emotions that we're experiencing. So if you're feeling like you're just going through a lot, that's going to help digest what you have going on. Balance is a blend of trees, so this is going to be grounding, and then Adaptive helps with that mental chatter. So if you feel like you're all over the place mentally, then Adaptive is supportive for that. Okay, let's also talk about some resources. I mentioned we have Oil Camp. Oil Camp is a one course within the Life Fuel Library. The Life Fuel Library is an online platform that has courses at a self-paced offering that you can go through to learn about different topics. So we're going over emotions right now. You can check out there's women's health, there's men's health, there's kids health, there's Oil Camp. There's all of these ways to continue to explore and deepen your understanding with using natural solutions for health. There are also some great books to add into your library. Emotions and Essential Oils, there might be a newer edition, but that's a great book where you can look up both the oil and also the emotion that you're experiencing, and you can see either which oil to use or what that oil is beneficial for from an emotional perspective. And then there's other resource guides, books like Essential Life that you can see here, or Modern Essential. Those are great resources where you can look up different health concerns or different emotions that you're experiencing and see some recommendations for that. So there's lots. And then we do workshops all the time, so you can plug in on that. If you're wanting to get started with using oils, you don't have that yet, you can scan this QR code and then click on the link that says essential oils and figure out which of those starter kits makes the most sense for you, or customize your own. doTERRA works similar to a Costco's, where you can have a wholesale account. It does not have a cost as long as you have a referral link. Doesn't have a cost, but it gives you 25% off for the year. It makes so much sense. Plus, when you have that wholesale account, you're also linked with the person that connected you. And so you have that person for the year to dive in and deepen your understanding. It also gives you access to things like the Life Fuel Library. All of that come in with having that wholesale account. Plus, you get your own online ordering. So you can go in and you can order either as needed, or they have like a frequent flyers program that I love, because you can go in and customize what you need for that month and then earn points back and free shipping and all that jazz. So there's all sorts of stuff that you can have from the wholesale account. And it's just a great support as you're going into this holistic way, or expanding your holistic way of thinking about health. Okay, so that is it. We talked a little bit about different oils. We talked a little bit about different supplements. Obviously, this is a snapshot overview. You can use those resources and dive in. And then beyond that, if you're wanting to really get into this lifestyle and do more, we have different types of partnering opportunities. So if you're an entrepreneur, or you have a wellness center, or you are a stay-at-home mom, or you are a working professional in the corporate world, it doesn't matter. We have different opportunities to partner. So whether that looks like an affiliate type of a relationship, or if you're interested in starting a business with weaving in essential oils and holistic health, or connecting in some regard in between that spectrum, you can reach out. We can set something up with that. We also have a wide variety of different workshops, both in person and online. So if you're interested in having some friends and family come over and learn more about holistic health, you can reach out and have that set up. And then there is one-on-one coaching and coaching programs that are available. You can scan the QR code and connect with whatever it is that you're feeling like you're wanting more of. So that is it for this video. I hope this was supportive in broadening your understanding of emotions and how to support the body, and um, just expand on some thinking. So that's it. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll connect soon.